So this is for the Cavy Kid channel, and this is Judge James Goodrich, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about all of our best of breeds.
Okay, this is our Abyssinian. It's the roan variety, which you can see is sort of a salt and pepper. We've got an intermixing. In this case, that's the black color intermixed with the white. But to me, this is one of the most unique varieties of guinea pig because it has a sort of pattern of hair growth where we get these ridges. This ridge called a mane, this ridge called a collar. There's another ridge coming around here. I like to think of it like a grid. It's almost geometric in its pattern, which to me is what's so unique. We should see this line coming both along, you could think of like the longitude and latitude lines, the way they're dividing the animal up into these sections. And each of those sections should be a rosette, which radiates out evenly. It's very difficult to get all of those ridges placed in a perfect kind of geometric pattern. We've got a nice little Abbey representing its breed here. The Teddy also has a stand-up coat, but it's a uniform coat. We don't want the coat to lay flat, but instead I use the word resiliency, that when you press your hand against the coat of the Cavy, it bounces right back and stays erect. This is a broken color with the patches of red and white and agouti. He has a very good resilient coat, which should be also very thick and dense. You can see another roan Cavy, this time in the red variety, but it's the smooth-coated Cavy. This is what we call at least in this country, we call the American Cavy. This particular one has a satinized coat. You might be able to notice that there's a particular shine to the Cavy. When we're judging, we're looking at the nice bold eye, the nice full round head, the droop of the ear. Some Cavies hold their ears higher and they wrinkle. We want the ear to kind of lay without folds in it. And we're looking for a nice uniform body where the width of the shoulder carries right through all the way on the Cavy. And even though this has a nice glossy coat, I don't know how much you'll be able to tell on the video, but this doesn't have the satinized sheen, even though it does have this coat, the hair is almost more transparent and light passes through it. Clearly this is a black. We're looking for the depth of the color, and when I pull the coat back, that black color goes all the way down to the base. A lot of them will tend to fade or get sort of a chocolatey hue to it. We want a nice short coat that's even. A lot of times we'll see a little longer coat over the rump, and as we come up, the coat tends to be a little bit shorter, but we want as even as possible and nice and short. He has a nice high, this is called the crown. He has a nice high full crown. And again, we want a real solid body. We have a couple long hairs here today. You can see that this one, like the Abyssinian, it has a rosette, but this time just the one rosette. A kind of crown to the pig in the way.
In New Zealand, the zebra, French hawk, open youth, the Cole's table, the pink heart.
Being a long hair Cavy, we want that coat to grow out from the center and radiate out. I'm going to, on a Cavy like this, I'm going to check the coat all the way around. We're looking for the uniformity of the coat, not only in its length, but also in its density. You won't be able to see so much in the video, but I'll feel for how thick the coat is at the rear and how thick the coat is at different points along the side to see if that Cavy is uniform all the way around.
Okay.
We'll skip over here to the Silkie. And in this case, we have a Cavy that has what we call a mane. The long hair is growing back over the crown of the pig, or the Cavy. And once again, you know, unlike, we don't have the Rosette here, which would create the coronet, where we've got a nice round, full, bold head, beautiful, bold eye. And this is the tortoiseshell and white variety with patches of black and white and red. And we're looking again for that uniformity of the density and the nice soft texture. Now, if you can't tell the front from the back on this Cavy, it's because the hair is growing in a different pattern. And I happen to know that underneath that coat, we have the head of the guinea pig right there. But this, because that coat is growing forward instead of back, we have a breed that we call the Peruvian, and this coat is called the frontal. It comes over the front of the Cavy. And if you know about the Addams family, this is kind of the cousin it. He's got that coat that grows all the way around. We're looking again for that uniformity, that the coat's not, you know, shorter or thinner in density in any one place around the Cavy, but a uniform all the way around. One breed that we are missing is the white crested. You can imagine the short coated Cavy with the crest, and the only white on the Cavy being, so if we took this black American Cavy and we put a white spot right there on his forehead, and if that coat grew out, you can imagine maybe what a white crested would look like. We're also missing a Texel, which is a long-haired Cavy, but instead of the hair growing out sort of straight, we would have little ringlets and curls in the coat of the Cavy.
Thank you. Now we're going to listen to him announce Best of Breed. Yeah, Best in Show. Thank you, James.
So after 4 years of undergraduate school, 2 years of graduate school, lots of student loans, I know how to speak in front of people. That's what all those student loans are for, I guess. Huh? Some very nice representatives of the breeds up here. My choice today for the second reserve and show is going to be the Teddy.
Yay!
My choice for reserve and show is going to be the Silkie. And these choices are not so much personal preferences, but the animals that come closest to their written standard of their breed in the way I interpret what's been written about them, what I'm supposed to look for. My choice today for the animal that I think comes closest to its own breed standard, my choice for Best in Show is going to be the American.
Yay! Congratulations!